The secret of Rome's strength lie in her ability to incorporate vanquished nations into her own political body. What that means is Rome turned around and went around just wiping out nations and stealing their culture. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere the white man went, he would go and invade. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard the term invading someone's privacy? That's what the white man would do. Go into the other nations and people's privacy and wipe them out and then steal their culture and say that they were that people. Okay? And that's what Rome did also. It says, never before had so many people have been under one government without making slaves of most of them. The most of them that they're talking about making slaves are the Israelites, or blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay? And it says, the Romans were basically barbaric and lawless in characteristics, but were experts in adaptability, absorbing nations, cultures, and religions, and cross-breeding them into one another by force if necessary. That's the white man right there all day long. You understand? He's barbaric, he's lawless, you understand? And he's an expert in, Christ said in the Bible, he said that the thief came to do nothing but kill, steal, and destroy. That thief he's talking about is the white man. You understand? Because guess what? Everybody else in the world loves history and deals with their history. Black people likes to turn around and just not even deal with it, not even think about it. Because when they made the term that said that you can't handle the truth, that was the white man talking to black people. You understand? Because guess what? We can't handle it. We've been lied to for over 400 years. As soon as we hear the truth, we run from it. Okay? But you're going to have to start dealing with it if we plan on doing anything as a nation of people. All right? And it says, through this, the rulers sought to keep the entire empire under control with all of those ways right there. You understand? Absorbing the nation, stealing their cultures and their religions, and cross-breeding them into one another. Okay? And let's keep going. Okay? And it says, wrong way. All right. This right here. Okay? This is some of Rome's history. This is some of white people's history that they love. All right? These two artists painted some pictures of an incident that actually happened. It was the abduction of the Sabian women. In Rome, the white man turned around and, like for instance, Rome was so mighty, you understand, with men, okay, that they thought to continue their lineage, they had to have some women. And they didn't have that many at that time. So what they turned around and did was the neighbors were the Sabians, you understand, like the neighboring city, you understand. They turned around and thought to kidnap the Sabians women. They conjured up a scheme, came up with a plan, and he actually tricked them. You know what I'm saying? Told them that they come into a festival, to a party, you know what I'm saying, that they wanted to just kick it with them, you understand? And when they got there, they turned around and I think it was Romulus, that's the founder of Rome. It was two brothers, Remus and Romulus. Okay, and Romulus was the one that took over Rome. He ended up killing his brother and took over, and that's how Rome was found by Romulus. Okay, and he turned around and they said, we're gonna take and we're gonna turn around and abduct those women. Romulus said, whoever it is that you want. Right, and this is actually some famous paintings of this incident, to where they went around still kidnapping these women. All right, and this is Peter Rubens. This is his painting, and this is another author, Nicholas Pisces. Okay, this is his version of what they say is history to them. You understand? Them kidnapping women, like I said, white people love their history. They don't give a damn how bad it is, how good, how ugly. None of it. They love all of their history. Because guess what? By the white man being so murderous, this is why he's so great today. You understand? And then he turn around and give you all of his lies. You understand? And this is why our sisters, they depend on everything that the white man is telling them. But this right here, this is where they turn around at this incident, not the paintings. But the incident that really took place, them kidnapping these women, is where you get contract marriages from. You understand? When they turn around and found the men, the fathers and the brothers, you understand, of the kidnapped women, turned around and they said, okay, we need to do something to go get our women back. When they went back, when you do the research, the women so-called had stepped up in between them. And was like, hey, we need to we need to end this, because guess what? The women were saying, we're going to lose, meaning the women, anyway, the white women. They said, if our fathers and our brothers fight these men that you know what I'm saying, that we married to, we ain't going to have nobody. You know what I'm saying? We're going to lose our family. We're going to lose everybody. So they said, instead of fighting, we'll just come up with a contract, an agreement, you understand, to turn around. And what made the man and the woman partners. You understand? That's what turned around. That's where you get the contract marriage from. Okay, because those men that kidnapped those women, in order to make peace and not have war, they had to make a deal. And the deal was to become, you know, joint owner in their business, or, you know, whatever it is that they had, whatever they bargained for. You understand? And this is where we turn around, and this is where we get contract marriage from for white people. We also get this kind of stuff too. This is another famous sculpture. This is his sculpture of that incident happening where they were corrupting a woman. See, white people are big time homosexuals, man. You understand? They are big time. Look, this man all in between his butt, and you know what I'm saying? It's disgusting, man. White people, the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. And he's a gay devil in that. You understand? This is great to them. You understand? To have a homosexual type scenery right here, sculpture, and they love it. They love it to death. Okay? But now we're going to go back to the article, and we'll turn around and read some more of this. It says, Christianity became known as the official Western religion, and the native religions of the Western world became known as heathen or uncivilized and unenlightened. However, it was not so in the beginning. It may be a surprise for many to know that during the first centuries, the Christians suffered tremendously under the Roman government, which tried to destroy them. And let me tell you something. Those Christians that they was talking about was like Christ. You understand? Not no Christian. I mean, that's like not Christ, but Paul, Peter. You understand? The brothers who follow Christ. That's what the word Christian means. Is to be a follower of Christ's teachings and his actions. Not to say I'm a Christian and I'm a homosexual. Not to say I'm a Christian, but then I eat pork. You know what I'm saying? To celebrate Christmas and things like Christ did none of those things that the so-called Christians in the church are doing. Back then or right now. You know what I'm saying? So what it is that it's just simply, it's a word that means a follower of Christ's teachings and his actions. And it does not mean to like give yourself a title, you know what I'm saying? Because Christ never called himself a Christian. And nobody else did. Alright, so this is talking about the followers, the believers, that were the ones that were in the truth. Okay, that's who suffered. It says, however, Christianity was spread too vigorously to be kept under control. The strategy of elimination through persecution eventually changed to one of embracing it and controlling its destiny to fulfill the purpose of their rulers. So basically what people did was they conformed to Christianity. You understand? Black people just don't want to die, so it's like, okay, well, don't kill me. I'll do whatever it is. Okay, white Jesus it is. Yes, Lord, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Okay, and then you become a Jesus freak. All right? And it says the church, on the other hand, made a compromise to accept wrong and became the destroyer of her mother Israel. It don't say Christianity. You understand? The author of this knew that God was the God of Israel. You understand? Which is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They know. They did the research and found it and brought it out. And they actually telling the truth. You understand? When it comes to this. Okay? The mother is Israel, not Africa or, you know what I'm saying, no other land. Alright? It's Israel. Who bore her in the process. Truth suffered. Pay attention to this. It says the truth suffered. You understand? The truth that a man can have more than one woman is suffered. Alright? Due to Christianity. Okay? We turn around and now black women think that they can do whatever they want because they're single and the black man is only supposed to be with her. Alright? Due to Christianity. It says biblical commandments that the apostles taught were subordinate to pagan convenience. The church entered to apostasy. Okay, so they turn around and guess what? Those Pharisees and Sadducees, they never did accept the truth. You understand? They loved the lies. But the truth ended up suffering because what this means is that like Christianity is so huge today. You understand? To the point to where the truth, people don't want to hear the truth when you turn around and start teaching it. Alright? Now this is right here, This is H.P. Lovecraft. This devil right here was he became famous, a famous author after he died. The white man looked into some of his writings and they said, oh, this guy's a great author. You know, that's how the white man do it. Once you die, you become a legend. You break. You know what I'm saying? But this author, this is one of his writings. He said, if religion were true, this is the white man. If religion were true, its followers would not try to bludgeon their young into an artificial conformity. Bludgeon means to force. You understand? Christians, they force this religion on their children. You understand? But the church is forcing that a man must be monogamous. You understand? They are forcing this, man. They are forcing our sisters to remain single, but then really they're not single because, like I said, they're sleeping with a lot of people. Okay? And then it says, but would really insist on their unbending quest for truth. I'm saying instead of forcing religion on your kids, let them turn around and seek the truth. But they don't. They force their religion and their views on them. It says, irrespective of artificial backgrounds or practical consequences. You understand? So guess what? If religion were true, this white man knew that it was a lie.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
He knew that a man could have more than one woman. He knew that Christ was not white. He knew all of the damn lies that they've been telling in the Christian church. You understand? It's not true according to the Bible. And he came out on the road and said, if religion was true, you understand? Then guess what? They wouldn't force it on nobody. Those Christians, they are actually more aggressive than what they claim. You understand? Because they actually force their religion on people. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. You see what I'm saying? So let's keep going. It says, one after another, the unscrupulous and cruel rules as prophesied in the scriptures entered the church to take control, ravish and strip the church to total spiritual nakedness and bankruptcy, and then clothe her in mockery and strange garments. That strange garments and mockery is like the white man Caesar Borgia being Christ. You understand? Christ being a white boy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Okay? That's what the Romans turned around and they mocked the truth, mocked our king, and started giving us all types of lies. Greco-Roman ideologies, values, and pagan practices and rituals were adopted as standards and holiness in the church. Guess what? A man having more than one woman was adopted into the church as well. When that ain't according to the Bible, that's not true. It says, due to the widespread illiteracy of the scriptures, the Christian church, they don't even know the Bible. You know what I'm saying? The Christians in the church they make up, the stuff that the pastors are teaching them is not even in the Bible.
Right.
You understand? They're living by lines, quotes, and cliches, and when they turn around and say something like, God is all love, that's not in the Bible. But they swear that it is. You understand? So they live by a lot of lies, man. You understand? Because they're illiterate of the scriptures. Especially that of the Gentile believers who were totally ignorant of the Torah. It says, whatever the Catholic priest said were considered as God's law and divine truth. One area of total distortion was that of marital relationship. You understand? And guess what? That right there is heavy because that's one reason why we have so many broken homes right now today. It's because of the church and their illiteracy of the scriptures. They turn around and distorted what a marriage is. The Christian church has you thinking that a word such as lust is like an evil word. When lust in the context of what they're talking about means the attraction of the opposite sex. You understand? That's all it is. But then they tell you that, oh man, they're supposed to look at another woman and be lusting after her. You know, say first of all, if that's the case, if I look at one woman and I desire her, then that means I'm sinning. Because how can you like close your eyes and pick a woman that you know what I'm saying? The Christian church think that literally means that you cannot look at a woman. You have to close your eyes and then I guess just, pick whoever or something. It don't even make sense. You understand? What that means is that the scripture that they be quoting means that you cannot look at another man's wife and desire her. Because if you do, you're going to turn around and you're going to want her, and eventually you're going to sin and you're going to try to have that woman. When in the lust in the form of the Bible is talking about is that you cannot have a desire or want for something that you cannot have.
Right.
You understand? That's what the lust means when the Christian church, they're illiterate of the scriptures. They don't know context. They don't know the Bible, period. You see what I'm saying? So the man that tries to take another man's woman, that you cannot do. That you can't do. Don't even pay her no attention. If you ask her, does she have a man? I'll come you. All right, Shalom says, go on about your business. It's 1,000 single sisters in every city waiting to get grabbed up. All right? Give me Genesis 3, verses 1 through 6. So we're going to go back and show how the sister was first deceived, you understand, lied to in the Garden of Eden. Okay? This goes all the way back. The white man has been lying to us since way back in the damn garden. That's the same spirit that we got now. You understand the Christian church, the white man that's telling the black woman she can do it by herself and she don't need no man and come in here and get these food stamps, but you gotta be by yourself. You understand? That's the same serpent in the garden, man. You understand? You got it up? Okay, read it from brother.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made.
Okay, that is the serpent. This right here, this is not a talking snake. Okay, that's what the Christians in the church think this is. This is a sneaky man. Anybody knows that, you know, you can ask your great grandma when they used to say, oh, she's a snake. And she's talking about how that person is sneaky. You understand? That's what that is. Okay, keep reading.
And he said unto the woman, Ye hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Okay, now, this is where the Christian church think that this woman is actually talking to a snake. Okay? And guess what? It is a snake, but it's a person. All right? And this is how her man taught her, Adam taught Eve, you understand, what was required of her, what was expected of the Lord. This is how Eve knew to respond the way that she did. And she did try and told the snake, told this man, you understand, because it was not an actual snake. You understand, this person was just sneaky. But she told him, hey, God said, you understand, that we may eat of the tree, you understand, of the fruit of the trees in the garden. Okay, so that's how she knew how to respond. Keep going on.
Donald Kahn. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die.
Keep going.
For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
Okay, right here, right. This is where the white man is telling the black woman that she's God. You understand? You turn around and you ain't gonna die. You understand? Because what this means right here, this means to follow the other nations. Okay, this does not mean an actual tree that has fruit, because first off, it doesn't even say an apple, like what it does in the picture.
Right.
And what the Christians say in the church, it does not say apple, it does not say orange. You understand? It does not actually identify no specific piece of fruit. So which one would it be? How could you just make up something? Right. You understand? Right. That it does not mean literal fruit. You understand? That does not mean that. All right. What the Lord did was He put us in the garden, and plus it was other people around us. That's what the trees represent. You understand? And we were not supposed to get down the way that the other nations of people get down. Right. You understand? Because guess what? You see, it don't work for us now. Black people be trying to be white, don't they? All day long. Right. We try to turn around, and the black woman is trying to be single like the white woman is saying. That's where they get that nonsense from. You understand? To be able to date and all this kind of nonsense. They even got some new stuff out called hyper dating. You know what I'm saying? Hibernating, man. And then they got the black woman trying to fit into that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And that's another article that we have too. Okay? but he turned around and told her that she'll be God, man. That's where they get this stuff from. You know, that the black woman is God. It started way back in the garden. Okay? And then it said, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So what happens is, they turned around and basically got down like the other nations of people did. They sinned against the Most High and picked up their culture instead of the culture that the Lord gave us. Okay? Which is, guess what? Monogamy is not a part of it. All right? That's a man's choice to have as many women as he wants. So we get that from the other nations of people. So when you have a black woman that's claiming to be single, you know, because she can't find a good man and this and that, but she's ready to mingle and she's sleeping around and doing all of this, she's following another God. You understand? She's following the other nations of people, and that's where we are going wrong. And I picked up some memes from offline. This is where they turn around and said, this is kind of funny. It says, white women are taught how to keep a man. Black women are taught how to survive with an invisible one. Okay? And then here's another one. It says, most black women have shown more love for the white man, Jesus, than for their own black man and black sons. You know what I mean? And that is actually true. You understand? Because guess what? The black woman is too busy trying to rule the household. When the Lord created the man to rule the house. You know what I'm saying? He did not put the woman in charge. Okay? She's supposed to follow her husband. And we have a lot of different things that's tied into it. By the end of this lecture, we'll have a wider spectrum on where the woman gets a lot of these things from. All right? But we're going to jump back to the article real quick. It says, surprising to almost all of us, it was common for Catholic priests to have multiple wives and mistresses. This was it says, in 726 AD, it was acceptable for a man with a sick wife to take a second wife so long as he looked after the first one. So see, white people are hypocrites. When black people follow white people, guess what? You become a hypocrite as well. Right. Because at one point, everybody had more than one woman. Every nation had more than one woman. You understand? And this article is going to break it down once it turned around and became so-called unlawful. You understand? But it's not unlawful. All right? And it says, with concerns for protecting the church property from inheritance, however, offspring could not inherit church property, and it was later declared that all sons of priests were illegitimate. The white man was concerned about his money. You understand? All the stuff that he stole and the money he was making from robbing the members, that's all they worried about. You understand? That's what he was worried about protecting. Okay? So then it says in 1022, Pope Benedict what's that? 8 banned marriages for priests, and it says monogamous or polygamous. This is why they turn around and stop marrying women and start molesting children. This is where Catholics get this mess from. Okay? And it says, finally in 1139, Pope Innocent II voided all marriages of priests, and all new priests had to divorce their wives. All these were done to possess and protect money and church property. It says, making polygamy a sin and marriage unacceptable for a priest was a slow and purposeful process. Okay, now again, polygamy is not polygamy, it's multiple wives. But this is when they turned around and they banned it. And they said, this is no more good. Why? Because we got to protect the money. So if you want to be a priest, you can't have no woman. But what do they do when they turn around and molest all the children in their church? Right. They protect them. You understand? Put them in hide and take them out. You know what I'm saying? And then just let them live wherever the hell they let them live in. Okay? And that's another reason why we shouldn't be following white people. Okay? It says the next reason is that during the last torn period and after, polygamy was badly abused by irresponsible men who had made it appear evil. That's what's in the mind of the black woman. That it is evil for a man to turn around and have more than one woman. And guess who created that thought? The white man did. You understand? By him turning around and saying, you know what? A priest should only have no woman. They turn around and made it illegal for them to have none. Right? You Catholic priest. Okay? Then it says, the restoration of woman's dignity and respect, giving them their rightful liberation, and equality had automatically promoted monogamy to be the only right form of marriage. Okay? Supported by the deceived church as good teaching and declared as the only right way of marriage, instituted by the Holy God, this truth becomes law, not just among Catholics and Protestants, but also in modern societies. So this is when it became, this is when it got enforced, you know what I'm saying, infused into the Bible. This was forced into the Bible, man. There is no such thing as monogamy in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? If a man chooses to have more than one woman, he can have that. If he chooses to have 5, he can have that. If he chooses to have none, guess what? He can have it.
Right.
Okay? It's a man's God-given right to have as many women as he sees fit.
Yeah,
Okay?
right.
So all of this was forced, man, and the women's right for liberation, women's lib, and all of that kind of mess. They had, I talked to a African in my slavery, and he turned around and said, he was in college also, and I said, do you got a woman? He said, no. He said, I don't have a wife yet. He said, but when I get some, I said, I'm gonna have a lot, right? And I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, man, in my country, he said, you can have as many women as you want. He said, but here, he said, America is all bad. He said, they make everything wrong. It's backwards. You understand? This is an African, okay? Ain't African. It's not my people. You understand? In no way, shape, form, or fashion. We're not Africans. But he himself came here to live and to work and go to school, and he said himself that America is all backwards. It's all wrong. You understand? And when he broke it down about how having more than one woman, he said, first off, he said, in Africa, you won't see none of that stuff you see on YouTube with the women fighting. You know what I'm saying? Bad at each other, trying to kill each other and all of that. He said, you won't see that. He said, in Africa, women, they respect their husbands. They do what their husbands tell them to do. That's what he was saying. And guess what? The black woman is taught absolutely the opposite. Right. You know, she's taught to go off on your man. Tell him like it is, or tell him how you feel. What they say, God gave me a mouth to use it and all of that. The Lord gave you a mouth, yes he did, but he also said you're supposed to be silent with that same mouth. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, there's a lot of things that the church is teaching our sisters that have them in a position that they are in, to where, like I said, they even forcing themselves to do something that they don't want, which is to be single and have no man, or to turn around and say that they single and mingle, and they turn around and get ran through by every man that they feel like. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's taking place by these Christians, the Christian church, man, by them believing in that Christianity. This sister right here, this was a sister that I actually ran into and I interviewed. You understand? We turned around at the post office. She came in with this shirt. We should all be feminists. You understand? A sister is a full-out lesbian. You understand? That's what that movement did. That African turned around and said, he spoke on the women's liberation. He was speaking on a lot of different things. And he was just going in on what's wrong with, basically, he was talking about black people, okay? And he targeted the black women because he was talking about having more than one. And he said he know that black women here in America, they just don't play that. They just ain't with it. But Africans, they are, okay? And he said, the woman's live, he said, no woman in Africa is crying or fighting about their rights. They know that they have rights. You know what I'm saying? He said, it's just stupid and it's backwards. So like I said, the black woman took and followed the white woman in her quest for equal pay and equal rights and all of that nonsense, and they turn around and, like I said, anytime we follow them, we lose. You understand? The black woman is not getting no more money. She's not no more on top of the world like she thought. She's still under the white man and the white woman. Right. You understand? The only somebody that the white man liberated you from was your black man. Right. You see what I'm saying? To the point to where you could tell him what to do, and he can't tell you what to do. You see what I'm saying? So that African was absolutely correct when he said that the woman's liberation was garbage. You understand? But the only somebody who does not realize that is the black woman. And that's what we're going to help her with. We're going to help show her that all of this nonsense that she thinks is all wrong. And we're going to give her the truth. It says, alas, feminism has in recent years changed partners, now courting what I call homogamy. This is where the same people that turned around and gave us monogamy is the same people that gave us homosexuality. Okay? And it says monogamy is fast becoming out of date. It says the passing fad seems quick to come and fast go. And the poor church is presently being dragged into monogamy. What that's talking about is how the Christian church is accepting homosexuality. You'll hear the church say, God loves homosexuals. But then when it comes to a man having more than one woman, they'll instantly say, you know what, they're not supposed to do that. Man ain't supposed to do that. Okay, but why is it acceptable to God for a man to be a homosexual or a woman to be a lesbian, but a man can't have more than one woman? That's because they're hypocrites, they're liars, and they don't have the truth. Right. And they turn around and they fell for the lie. They pushed this. The white man gave it to them and they said, okay, I'll push it. You understand? In order to rob the church. That's what they doing. They ain't robbing the white man. They robbing their members, poor black people, and Hispanic people, Native Indian people. But it says she had compromised once, why not twice? That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? When you go to a whore, she says she'll give you something for $10, $20. You want to go back. If you want that whore, you want that same $10, $20. You know what I'm saying? That same $10, $20 deal that you got the last time. Okay? And that's what the Christian church has become, a big whore, man. You understand? And it says, thus we see another logical trend. It says the more feminism is in power in the land, the more monogamous it is, and the more it is swept over by homosexuality and lesbianism. Look at what's going on right now today. That is more accepted. You understand? Homosexuality is more accepted than a heterosexual relationship. You understand? They turn around and they protect them homosexuals. They tell them you can't say nothing to them. Don't gay bash them, or you know what I'm saying? You can't say nothing to a homosexual. They protect the homosexual. You understand? But a heterosexual relationship, they care nothing about. It says the more patriarchal and polygamous the land is, the least likely it is to be taken over by homosexuality and lesbianism. Basically, what that means is when the men are in control, guess what? Our sons and our daughters will not be homosexuals and lesbians. You understand? And that's what the I.S.U.P.K is going to do. We're going to reverse this thing. What they say is true. You understand? What the Lord said in the Bible is an abomination. You understand? Homosexuality is an abomination. And we are going to turn that around. Okay? And see, this is what you have. This is the effect that you have. You understand? If you see this picture correctly, you will see a lot of black people in there smiling and cheese and so happy to be gay. You understand? And that's not how we're supposed to be. Black man is not supposed to be no damn homosexual. This is a young boy. You understand? This is I believe they say he was roughly about 14, 15. This is a kid. This is a boy, man. He's not supposed to be like that. But guess what? It's this way because his mother, she's single. You understand? She don't want no man in her life. You know what I'm saying? She don't want no man telling her what to do. Okay? She's single and meanwhile her son is a full-fledged homosexual. You understand? Look at this. This is America all day long. They let gays adopt children more than they do a heterosexual couple. You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on here in America. All right? This is from us following Christianity. These are Christians. Okay? Look at this. Look at the woman. Turn around, squeezing the girl. But women is not supposed to be so goddamn friendly where they touching on each other like that. You understand? They're not supposed to be doing this kind of stuff, man. But this stuff is what's taking over. Okay? Look at that. Look at these sisters, man. We're not supposed to be getting down like that. Now we're going to the church because they're the ones that's responsible for it. Look at Kirk Franklin giving Big Daddy T.D. Jakes a lap dance. You understand? He's giving Big Papa a lap dance, man. No, we don't play like that in Israelite school, universal practical life. Right. You understand? I ain't never once thought to go sit on Command General Yohanna's lap. You understand? Come on, I already know General Yohanna be right there to knock a nigga out. You understand? We don't play that in the I.S.U.P.K, man. It's not even funny. Look at Big Daddy. He's sitting there like, yeah, come on, baby. You understand? That's disgusting, man. But this is not supposed to be. But guess what? When you have Christianity, when you have feminism and women's lib, this is what you come up with. A bunch of homos, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, see, the white people, they accept this. They accept it, man. And guess what? They can do it. They can do it all day long if they feel like it. Let them be homosexuals and lesbians.
Right.
But you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, this is not, we're not supposed to do this. That's what they do. Look at them. They crying, the two men crying, they homo, they so happy for them. Look at that nonsense, man. That's disgusting as hell. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the church, like the article said, hey, if they compromise once, why not do it again? You understand? If you turn around and be a whore once, you'll be a whore again. Okay? If you have no morals once, you'll have no morals again. Now this right here, this is an article, I forgot the name of this thing, but this brother actually has him 7 sisters. Okay? This brother has 7 wives, and he's taking care of them. But they was bashing this brother Ruth for having him 7 wives in this article. But then guess what? But like I said, when you go back, they'll accept this. You understand? Slacky. They turn around, they'll accept homosexuality. You know what I mean? One second, y'all. Push the wrong way. Let me get to it. Okay, now this they will accept. They'll accept that. They'll accept that. They'll accept that. They love that, especially to see black people do it. Like the entertainers, the actors and actresses, they love to see them play homo. You understand? But they won't accept a black man having him 7 sisters and him taking care of them 7 sisters. This is what they say is unlawful in the Christian church. This is what they say a man is not supposed to do. But when it comes to this, they say this is acceptable to God. Right. You understand? Look at the preachers and the priests marrying these people, man. You understand? You got the preachers and the priests accepting of this garbage. Okay? Now, again, with the single term, we just gonna break this down a couple times, you know what I'm saying, for our people to know that in legal terms, a single person is someone who is not in a relationship or is unmarried. In common usage, a single person is someone who is not involved in any type of serious romantic relationship, including dating, engagement, or marriage. All right? We're not supposed to be doing nothing if you're single with nobody. All right? Now, the conclusion of the history of monogamy is this. It says history brings forth the conclusion of evidence. It says that enforced should be monogamy, no matter how much it is sanctioned legally or socially, or how righteous it is portrayed religiously. It was never originated from the scriptures, man. You understand? That is not in the Bible. Monogamy is not in the Bible. Okay? It is not. It says, it has never been set as the only standard for marriage by God. When you go in the Bible, God said that a man, if he chooses to have more than one woman, he can. That is in the Bible. And it says it originated from the pagan Romans that had and are still overtaking the world under the modern title Greco-Roman worldview. Okay? Now, this is another article. I'm just kind of skip through for time's sake. This is what the single black woman is right here. It said the new face of depression. Black women, what you will find is that they got it going on when it comes to their job, their car, their house, some money. You understand? They look damn good. They got it going on, right? But the one thing that they want and that they need and that they are denying themselves of is a damn man. You understand? According to the white man and his standards. Because what the white man makes money reign supreme, you turn around and that's what the black woman expects and requires from the black man is a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? I know a sister that turned around and tell me that her man that she was dating or talking to, whatever, I don't know exactly how far it went, but she said that the guy, he was such a great guy, and she really liked him, and, you know, I said, okay, well, y'all will be together? She said, well, no, he makes less money than me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wait a minute, what money got to do? Why is he a great guy? Why would you pass up a great guy? Because he don't make that much money. You see what I'm saying? Great guys, I mean, damn, you didn't even say anything about no money. You know what I'm saying? When you said he was a great guy, you didn't even say that money made this man great. But when it came to her final decision, she said, oh, well, I can't be with him because he don't make no, you know, enough money or whatever it was to her. You see what I'm saying? And that comes from white people, man. Okay, now this right here, This is another article that we pulled up. This is actually some research that the white man did. They did a lot of different studies on black women. This is not an article, but this is some study that we found in the studies of the Journal of Black Studies. That's what it is. The Journal of Black Studies. Okay, and this is one part in the research that they said was coping with depression in single black mothers. And it says, what do you do to feel better when you're down in the dumps? Now, you know that's a white term, down in the dumps. You know what I'm saying? Niggas just say, we feeling bad. Well, you know what I mean? But the white man say, what do you do when you're down in the dumps? 64.2% of those sisters, and I believe this was the 227 sisters that they did in this research. It says emotion-focused responses. 64.2 of them gave emotion-focused responses, meaning that they gave you a response according to their emotions and how they felt. All right? 2.8 gave a problem-focused response. You understand? Meaning that they could turn around and give you they were focused on the problem. Okay? Then 30.2 gave you a social support seeking response. Okay? And then the category of responses, you turn around and now you get 63% escape avoidance, meaning that they just wanted the problem to go away. That's what black people do. When we have a problem, we just want it to go away. You understand? So 63% of these sisters said they answered and they fell into a category of what they call escape avoidance. 18.3 was seeking social support. 12.2 gave a positive reappraisal. 3.7 gave planful problem solving. See how it's going down, lower and lower and lower. Distancing themselves 1%, and self-control was a whole whopping gigantic big old 1.8%. Sisters cannot control themselves. You understand? They have to be controlled, man, by a righteous man. Okay, and that's in the Bible. And these sisters that turn around and answer truthfully to the white man, this is what they came up with. That black women don't know how to control themselves. And they don't. When they so-called single, they don't know how to control themselves because they let any man into them, in between them legs. You understand? Because they really think they're single. You understand? And it's only damaging the woman more and more and more. You understand? When she's doing that. So I keep hitting the same button. She's damaging herself more and more and more. Okay? This same part in the research, it says U.S. Department of Health and Minority Health. It says these facts reflected in what we know about single mothers, 47 to 70% of whom report depressive symptoms indicative of mild to severe clinical depression in published studies. And over here on this side, this is all of the different research, all the different times that they kept doing this stuff, and they came up with the same conclusion. You understand? They came with the same conclusion every time. Okay, this is another table of categories. Right here, this is the coping strategies. All right, it says coping strategy, the examples of participant responses and the responses percentages. All right, now they have the emotional focus, escape avoidance. You understand? Positive reappraisal, to where they turn around and to fix the situation, they came up with a positive conclusion. And then self-control and distancing. All right, and then a lot of sisters claim that exercise, to eat and drink, that's not going to solve your problem. You understand? To play with the kids, to shop, sleep, dance, read, take a walk. You know what I'm saying? Walk, play basketball, pray, go to church, happiness, God, read the Bible, positive talk. Black people don't do none of that. You understand? They don't do none of that. They don't go play no damn basketball when they man get into it. They put him out. You understand? They don't turn around and want to read the book and read the Bible and talk positive. You understand? She can't shut her damn mouth. That's what happens, man. Because like I said, when you get to that percentage of how many people, black women can control themselves, it's a whole whopping 1.8. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So she's doing none of this stuff. Count to 10. She ain't counting to 10. She letting loose. You know what I'm saying? She turned around and parading that black man. She said, don't think about it and have me time. Okay? So like I said, this is what the black woman has been giving to the white man. All right, now this part right here, the positive real presence says, which involves the use of religious coping strategies, the prayer, the church attendance. It says was the third most frequent response, collectively 12.2%. Okay, it said with only 32 responses from 27, which makes up 13% of the mothers, individually indicated religiosity in the present sample. These findings are surprising since the church is often theorized to be a paramount in the psychological preservation of African Americans and a primary source of social support. So it's theorized, you understand? It's not actual fact that the church helps our sisters, because they do not, okay? And then it says, let me see. It says, the preservation of African Americans and a primary source of social support, providing connectedness for African Americans. However, other studies show that persons of lower income have lower participation in organizational religiosity. All right? And then it says, and persons of higher income have greater church attendance. And it says, since black single mothers are poor, it says their lack of financial resources may be associated with their inability to take advantage of the support networks available at church, hence limiting the effects of religiosity afforded African Americans in general. So let me tell you something, man. Basically what that boils down to is the Christian church ain't worth a damn. Right. You understand? They don't help our people. They don't help our sisters, none. Right. You know, sisters that got the money that can pay the tithes go to church. You understand? But Shaquita or Starkeisha, she don't go to church. Right. You understand? Because she knows she ain't got no money. And when she need a problem, when she have a problem and needs some help, she can't go to the church and get none. Right. And guess what? Guess who else can't get no help in the church? The sister that got the money. She can't go to her and get no help either. She just can turn around and play it off a little longer than Dashiki because she got a little paper in her pocket. You understand? So like I said, the sisters that ain't got no, they can't get, they just left out there to do whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's time for our sisters, our people, all of our people, man, to come into the Israelite school, universal.
Damn right.
To where you have some help, man. To where you can get cured from this single. Because there's a lot of brothers in here that can handle a lot of wives, I'm sure. You understand?
That's
and guess
right.
what? They ready. They're ready. You understand? So here's some more of the same research that they did. This part was the sexual risk behavior among African American college women. Now we're going to the difference of how, now you know they say that so-called women that have an education are like better, smarter, they make all the right decisions because they so-called have it going on and have a career and a degree and all of that, right? But we're going to find out whether those sisters are just like the sisters that's disadvantaged, that like Shaquita, we're going to see is the Nikki that made it in college, a nurse or something, we're going to see if she's smarter or it's just the same as Shaquita that stay on the streets, you understand, that's in the ghetto and in the projects. It says, this purpose of this study is to understand and describe the influences associated with risk-taking among African American college women. The study participants included 15 African American women aged 19 through 33, attending a 4-year university in Southeast Texas. Each of the women self-identify as having engaged in sexual intercourse with at least one male partner within the past year. Data were gathered using semi-structured in-depth interviews, each lasting approximately 1.5 hours. Analysis of the interviews revealed that women base their sexual risk-taking behavior on the level of intimacy sought or expected from their partner. The desire to engage in a long-term relationship was also indicative of participating in risky sexual behaviors. Like the implications for intervention programs that are targeted at minimizing sexual risk-taking behavior are discussed in light of these findings. Okay, so they turn around and interview these sisters, and they're going to turn around. We're going to read the different things that some of the sisters said. We're going to turn around and go through the white man's conclusion of our people, and then we're going to go to some examples of some of the things that these sisters actually said and why they take what they call a sexual risk, sexual risk, and why black women are just so easy and so frequent to have just sex with somebody, okay? Rather than turn around and know that this is your partner. Okay, this is your husband after that man has sex with you. Since the motivation for why people engage in high-risk sex may depend on infinite associations of partners, events, needs, desires, thoughts, and meaning associated with sex or other forms of social interaction. Okay? Individuals report a variety of reasons for having sex. Reasons range from having sex for fun, love, reproduction, obtaining pleasure, desire for money, power or aggression, enhancing self-esteem, or self-validation. Okay? Understanding these reasons can improve HIV and sexually transmitted disease. Primary prevention efforts by addressing the root cause of sexual risk-taking behavior. Okay, so they turn around, our sisters don't understand. Well, they know that these diseases are real. Here in St. Louis, like I said again, this is why this is one reason why we chose to do this lecture, is because this is the STD capital in America. Okay? More STDs exist right here in St. Louis than any place in America. Okay? The south side of St. Louis has more AIDS and STDs damn near in the world. Right here in the city of St. Louis, man. And our sisters are still having risks, they're taking risky chances on their sex. You understand? And they seem to think that they might not get a disease, but that's just not true. You understand? You're going to get it. You keep on taking a risky chance, eventually you will get it. Okay? So it says, Cummings, Battle, Barker, and Crenshaw. So these are people that turn around and did another research on the same topic. Like I said, you'll see where they've been doing research, all of these different areas on the same topic, and been coming up with the same conclusions. Okay, it says, found after interviewing 142 African American women that sexual risk-taking was associated with a variety of factors. First, being in a relationship is a major source of self-validation and esteem for women. Now take that right there, and you can roll with that. The sisters that have a man, that's self-validation for you and esteem. Sisters actually feel good when they got a man.
Damn
you
right.
understand? And that's how they supposed to feel.
Right.
But the white man turn around and makes them think that it's something ugly or disgusting or despicable, because guess what? You have to turn around and now you gotta worry about that man or do what he say and all this. You don't have to do that. That's what the white man tells the black woman. You know what I'm saying? And you can see this in all of everything that the white man owns, like TV, radio, the songs that he make our people make. He discuss the songs, these movies. Reality shows that's not even reality. You know what I'm saying? They turn around and make relationships between black people, they make it look horrible. But then when you see a white relationship, it looks like some type of dream or fantasy. You know what I'm saying? They make it look real good. So, but here's what they know. This is what the researchers know. That being in a relationship is a major source of self-validation and esteem for black women, particularly African American women, okay? It says, second, having unsafe sex, it is sex without condoms, helps women maintain their beliefs that their partners are faithful. So they know that when you are, having unsafe sex, they're thinking that, okay, that this man is just with me, all right? So, and then, let's keep going. It says, third, African American women are often in denial regarding their vulnerability to AIDS. They seem to think they won't catch it. But guess what? You will. And the Lord will see to it if you're being a whore. That's what gets AIDS. Whores get AIDS. You understand? Whoremongers get AIDS. Homosexuals get AIDS. Guess what? Lesbians get it too. You understand? And that's a punishment from the Lord. But they're in denial. Black women are in denial about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame our sisters for being in denial. It's the white man's fault. He is the devil the Bible speaks of. And he's the one that forced this denial on you. You know what I'm saying? And your preacher is second right behind the white man. Because he didn't tell you the truth. That's his responsibility as a so-called, what he calls himself, a pastor or a leader of the sheep or the flock. He's supposed to tell them the truth, but he refuses to do so because he works for the white man. All right? And then it says, this denial stems from relationships, ideals, and status considerations. See, the white man has given the black woman an ideal of a relationship. And what he thinks his idea of a great relationship is, not according to the Lord. Okay? It says, additionally, these women may be involved in relationships which they feel powerless in terms of sexual negotiation, and as a result, do not communicate with sexual partners about possible HIV risk. And you're going to find out that these sisters was not even worried about none of that AIDS or nothing when they come to having sex, what they turn around to tell them in this interview when they just having this behavior. All right, it says, although a great deal of research exists detailing the sexual behavior of disadvantaged and drug-using African American women, little is known about the sexual behavior of African American women who are not disadvantaged. See, they're not even worried about the ones that have the good jobs. You understand? They're not even doing any research on them. Of course they want to get the ones that's down bad, downtrodden, that's down on their luck or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They go get them first and find out, well, Shaquita, why are you doing so bad? You know, why are you out here with a sign bag? Why are you in the food stamp office? That's what they do. They go and research those sisters. But the ones that have jobs, they don't even bother them. It says, despite the higher prevalence of AIDS among African American women compared with other populations of women in the United States, only a few studies have included African American women from the general population. The incidence of HIV among women of color through heterosexual contact dictates this as a significant public health issue. And let me tell you something, it is a big health issue. You understand? Because a lot of our people is contracting these diseases by them simply not knowing the truth according to the Lord, that this one, you ain't single and can go mingle. If you do mingle, you're married and you have to stay together. But our sisters are here taking risks and taking chances, and our brothers is doing the same damn thing. Okay? And they taking chances as well, and it needs to come to an end. It says, according to the Center for Disease Control Prevention, almost 2/3, 63% of all women reported with AIDS in the United States are of African American heritage. Okay, it says of these women, 62% have been infected through heterosexual contact, and 74% occur in people aged 13 to 29. All right, and let me tell you something, those numbers are increasing and they get worse and worse. All right, it says contributing to the higher prevalence and increasing incidence rates of HIV and AIDS and other STDs among African American women are emotional, cultural, and social meanings attached to sex and sexual behavior. In addition, the belief that sexual intercourse creates a bond between the people engaged often serves as a barrier to condom use. According to Winger, this Hunter and Gamble and DeClemente, this is the ones that did this research. Although it might seem that the inability of an African American woman to just say no in a high pressure situation, it's like, I think it's supposed to be contributes to the maintenance of the imbalance in heterosexual relationships, this female powerlessness is best understood in a larger context of change in the African American community. Okay, now this right here, this is the safer sex knowledge. Okay, it says in an attempt to assess women's general knowledge, and remember this is black women, and thought about safe sex behaviors, the women interviewed defined sex as penile-vaginal intercourse. Overall, the majority of the women had practical knowledge regarding was to reduce or to minimize sexual risk. All right, now this is some of the responses that the sisters gave. You understand? Now remember, these are educated women. These are college women. Okay, the women that's in college and so-called have it going on in life and all of that, professional women and stuff like that. We're gonna see if they have any more sense than the so-called sister that's in the projects and in the ghetto. All right, Tina, she explained that, but if you're going to, right, if you're going to, you got to use protection. And condoms are like, for me, the number one. And you've got your different types of condoms. But I say that condoms are the best way. Okay? This is our sisters, this is what the sister in the college, they got it going on, it's professionals, what she say, and this is what Shaquita say. That's in the projects and in the ghetto and in the hood. Right. They saying the same thing. Then her, this is Joyce. She said, well, there is abstinence, but nobody will do that. You understand? Our sisters is not turning around and what they like to call themselves in the church? born again virgin.
Right.
They ain't no damn born again. They sleep with some other goddamn body. They ain't stop having no damn sex. You understand? It says so condoms are the safest way to prevent catching some disease. Either using the condom or abstaining. So already she's saying nobody will do that. Sisters is not turning around and saying, telling brothers no. When they see the one that they feel like they want, they say yes. You understand? They not abstaining from no damn sex. They ain't fooling nobody. And again, this is Exodus 22:16. Sex is marriage, man. You understand? This is what we need to know and understand. According to the Lord in the Bible, sex is marriage. If a man entices a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, which means to have sex, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. You have now become man and woman, not no walking down no aisle. Okay? Romans 7:2-3. What sisters need to understand is there is no certain amount of women that a man can have in the Bible. It's not in there. All right? It ain't 1, it ain't 2, it ain't 5, it ain't none. There is no number. That's solely up to the man to decide on how many women he wants. All right? But there is in the Bible how many men a woman is supposed to have. That is in the Bible. And we're going to read that. Okay? Because while sisters are so busy telling the man what to do, she's forgetting her role. And she's forgetting what the Lord told her to do. You understand? And we're going to pull this out and help out a little bit. It says, for the woman which hath an husband. All right now. For the woman that has a husband, she just had sex with this man. We just read that in the previous scripture. Okay? Is bound by the law to her husband so long as he liveth. The woman is only supposed to be with one man her entire life long. You understand? That man that you agree to have sex with is your husband and is going to rule over you forever. Okay, it says, but if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. Now that don't mean turn around and go with some shows on the cable and the Snap and all that where the woman put something in the soup. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill the man to try to get rid of, all right? You know what I'm saying? Let that man die of natural causes. Okay? She's loose from that law if her husband is dead. All right? It says, so then, if while her husband liveth, how many sisters you know that they got baby daddies and they got new baby daddies or new boyfriends? You understand? Or new husbands and all whatever. You understand? It says, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. And what is an adulteress? An adulteress is a hoe. You understand? She is not supposed to turn around and leave her man and go get her another man. This is in the Bible. And guess what? This is in the New Testament. And this is what Christians, the preachers is not teaching the sisters. You know what I'm saying? Then this is in the part of the Bible that they claim to love so much and follow so much and live by. Then why ain't they telling them sisters when they have a problem with their husband, no, you can't divorce. You know what I'm saying? Why is the preacher taking advantage of them sisters when they coming to them and complaining about their husband? Sleeping with them instead of sending them back home to their man. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they do. Okay? So this sister here, if you got a husband and then you turn around and got you another man, you are a whore according to the Lord. It said, but if her husband be dead, she is free from that law. So that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. So if her husband dies, she's free to be with somebody else. Okay? But the woman is supposed to be with one man her entire life long. All right? That's what the Lord said in the Bible. Okay? And again, this is another scripture in Ecclesiastes 26:22. It says, and harlot shall be counted as spittle. Whores are not worth nothing, man. Let's just keep that real. You understand? A hoe ain't worth a damn, and everybody know it. Nobody wants a hoe. Okay? And it said, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. That woman that's serving that man and is faithful to that one man, you understand? She's a tower against death to her husband. There's plenty of scriptures that we're going to pull out on this too. But let's go back to the example. Because like I said, these sisters, they don't understand that sex is marriage. They saying, well, as long as you use a condom, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But they're not knowing whether you got a condom or not. You understand? Any form of sex. If it's oral sex or hand sex, whatever kind of sex, y'all married. You understand? That's what it is. Any type of sex is marriage, man. That's right. Okay? And then this is the sister Daphne. She said, I am so emphatic about the whole condom thing. All right, I just wouldn't do anything in this day and age that involved a man without a condom. Okay, this participant had both male and female sex partners. She's a lesbian. She goes, what they say, both ways. You know what I'm saying? Bisexual. Yeah, there we go. You know what I'm saying? So when I think safer sex, I am, like I said, I think plastic. Some type of plastic that, you know, provides a barrier to STDs. There's no safe way, you understand? There's no right way to do something wrong, man. You understand? You being a whore, there's no right way to do it. You understand? There's no safe way to do it. You understand? You're going to get AIDS. And these sisters are taking risks, you understand, by having sex with whoever, thinking that condoms are safe. Because how many people you know they got pregnant off condoms? They actually had STDs, thinking they had condoms, they had plastic. Like this sister called barrier to stop an STD. When it is not 100 proof. You understand? So then Alicia, she explained, to prevent diseases, she said, afraid I'll get pregnant, I'll have him put on 2 condoms and ask him all sorts of questions before we ever did anything. Every time I have asked questions, who have you done it with? Have you done it with anybody else? And he'll say, no, no, no. And I ask a lot of questions. Guess what? After all the questions, she still let that man get in between the legs. You understand? She don't use no condoms. She talking about some damn 2. You understand? She don't make them use no condoms. Okay? And then who, like okay, if he, you okay, who have you done it with? Oh, well, Shirley. You know Cheryl? You know what I'm saying? You gonna say, oh, okay, that's cool. We good. It just don't make sense. Now, these are so-called educated women, man. You understand? These are women that a lot of sisters look up to and wish they was in their position. Because they turn around and so-called, what they say in the word, they done made it, right? Or they're successful. But guess what? They just as damn dumb as a lot of sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? That's in the hood, that's taking the same chances that these are the same answers. You can't tell if this woman is broke and on Section 8 or food stamps, and you can't tell if she got a damn college degree and got a damn job making $100,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell the difference, man. All right? So now this part here was the desire for a long-term relationship. Okay, this is in the same study. It says increased risk-taking was also expressed as a strategy for securing a long-term relationship. Many women confided that if they hope for a long-term or serious relationship with their partners, they would engage in more risky sexual behaviors. So if they thinking that this person will stay with them, you know what I'm saying, they have a possible chance of being with them in a long-term relationship, then again, they will take the risk and have the risky sex with this person that they don't even know, for real. You understand? So then, now these are some more sisters, okay? This is Yvette. She said, if I think there is a chance for this to be something, I might do it on the first date, and even without a condom. On the first date, you already thinking that this man, you know what I'm saying, will be with you forever? Come on now. She don't really believe that. He said, I know that's risky, but if he looks good and I want something more with him, I might. You understand? This sister saying she'll do it. She'll take the chance and do whatever he wants. Okay? Now, Kai explains it this way. It's mostly attachment. That's mostly the thing. I mean, the feeling that you get is more because I feel more attached to him and I feel like I got a little bit more grip on him. You know, a hold on him than if we was just doing it with the condom. So it could develop into something more. Girlfriend and boyfriend, you know, have a relationship, not just dating. None of this stuff makes sense, man. You understand? But guess what? The truth in the Bible does. Sex being marriage takes away all of this right here. It makes it simple. You know what I'm saying? This stuff that these sisters explaining, this is complicated. You understand? This makes it hard for them, man.
Right.
Okay? And then it says, Chantel confided, said, if he looks nice, dresses nice, looks smart, talks well, has some education, has some money, that puts ideas in your head, and maybe you want to try to hold on to it. So sometimes you do what you have to do at that particular time to assure yourself that you will get a call back or another date, or you will get back together again. That makes no sense, man. You understand? For our sisters to think this type of way, to
Right.
think that low of themselves, to where they think that just to get a damn date, some goddamn food, you understand? To go to a movie or something, that'll cost them like $5-6. You got to have sex, take some risky sex with a man, you understand, with somebody you don't know, just to go on a date, just to get something to eat. This is what our sisters are thinking. This is the so-called educated sisters. You understand? Not the ones that they talk about that's in the projects. This is the ones that got degrees and got jobs and got money. You understand? So she turned around and she said she'll do what she got to do in order to get with a man. Said, you want him to be your man. So you will give it up and don't worry about the condom. If he spends a lot of money that night, that don't necessarily mean you have some money or will be a good, or he'll be a good man. But you may think he may have some money and could be a good man, so you take a chance with him and hope he don't give you no diseases and nothing. You see this, man? This is what our sisters is actually thinking. This is black women, all of them saying the same thing. To say that, you know what, he might have some money. You know, he got some rims on his car. You know, he got some TVs in it. He got on some True Religion or some J's or whatever they be wearing. You know, and I just hope once I give him some, he don't give me no disease. This is a real study, man. You understand? And these are real black women's responses, man. Okay? And it says, but you think about it later, after it is over. He's at his house and you're at yours. See, every time the black woman plays the role of a whore, she thinks about it. You understand? And guess what she's hoping? She's hoping that that man call her back. You understand? She's feeling bad sitting at home because she done played the role of a hoe. And now I'm thinking about it later. He at his house, I'm at mine. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, our sisters should not be sitting here talking about they single and they can mingle and they can do any of that, man. All right? This is 1 Timothy 5:6. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Our sisters do not understand. That junk about some money, you understand? You more so worried about pleasure, having nice things, a nice car, and a nice home. You understand? You living in them pleasures, you dead. She dead while she living, man. You understand? Our sisters need to understand this, okay? Now this is Leviticus 19:29. It says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. Let me tell you something. We are not supposed to let our sisters be out there sleeping around, taking chances, taking risks, talking about, I hope he be with me after this and all of that. I hope he don't give me no disease. You know what I'm saying? We're just simply not supposed to be doing it. But our sisters are taking chances. Then it says, lest the land fall to whoredom. Look at the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian land. It didn't fail to whoredom, man. Most of our people are whores and whoremongers. You understand? Our sisters are willing to give it up to whoever wanted. You see that those sisters had actually no morals when it came down to the sex. They said, well, if he looks good, you know what I'm saying? A brother's supposed to look good to you. You know what I'm saying? The man and the woman was created for each other. He's supposed to look good to you. You're supposed to look good to him. That's not a reason to jump in the damn bed, though. You know what I'm saying? Just because you look good. And it said, and the land become full of wickedness, man. We got a lot of stuff going on here. And like I said, I'm particularly talking to St. Louis because I live here. And I see this kind of stuff going on every day, all day. I had a sister at my slavery, man. It took her like 2.2 seconds to start telling me about how she got STDs and all this kind of stuff. And she seemed so comfortable talking about it like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a cool thing to say that, you got to go get shots and pills and all that to fix yourself. But she's single. You understand? Just like the rest of these sisters in this research. Single and ready to mingle and out there mingling, taking chances and getting AIDS, man, eventually. Okay? So here's another sister right here. This sister Greta said she talked about her strategy of using condoms to prevent a relationship from growing into something more substantial. So what this sister does, she's playing mind games with the brother. You understand? The brother wants to tell, I don't know too many brothers that like condoms, no way. You understand? And then like they said, in the study conducted, they said that when you have unprotected sex, it means it's more of a relationship. You understand? You have something there because you did not use a condom. Condom don't mean nothing to it. It's just sex. It's nothing. But when we don't use it, Now we turn around, we got something going on. So this is what she's saying with him. I always use a condom. I don't see a future with him. This sister right here is just sleeping around with whoever she wants to sleep around. She's single and mingling. Okay? And it says, so the sex is good, it's real good. Okay? But it is only physical. So I'll make him use one. Like I said again, black women don't know that sex is marriage. This ain't just physical. You understand? That's a damn commandment, a law that if you have sex, y'all married. It's real simple. You understand? And like I said, that takes away all this. If our people just get the truth, this would be no more. We wouldn't have to worry about AIDS. We wouldn't get AIDS. We wouldn't get STDs. Our sisters wouldn't be single and out here mingling. They would know that they are some man's wife. You understand? And like the researcher said, being in a relationship is more validation and self-esteem for the black woman. She actually feels good about herself being in a relationship instead of doing like what the last sister said as well. Once I be a hoe, I think about it when I'm sitting at home by myself. You understand? And then it says, try and make him mad. This is what she's doing. She's trying to make the brother mad. So he will stop calling me. After she gets what she wants, she's like, look, man, don't call me. Okay? Said, I don't know why I can't break it off. I mean, the sex is good, but nothing long term. She knows that she's not even interested in being with this man. She's just using him for sex. And a lot of single sisters, this is what they are doing, man. This is what the researchers found out that that black women is doing. Is they are taking advantage of men when they claim it's the other way around. Men, that's the first thing they throw up in a man's face. Is, oh, you just want some sex. When this sister right here, this is her strategy. Her thing is so that the man won't get attached. She turn around and have sex with him and use a condom and make it like it's nothing, and then tell, look, stop calling me, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just physical. It's just sex. Stop calling me. You understand? Because she knows she don't even want to be in a relationship with him at all. And this right here, this is Deuteronomy 23, 17 through 18. It said, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. All right, our sisters, they are not supposed to be whores, man, at all. You understand? And that stuff that them sisters was doing, that's being a whore, okay? Them sisters was being whores. And for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit so we can turn around and get to close this thing in just a second. All right, this right here, this a lot of scriptures misinterpreted, man. You understand? A lot of people think they know the Bible when they really don't, okay? This scripture right here is a famous one. I said a lot of we conducted some interviews with a lot of sisters and a lot of brothers even. This one brother that I turned around and he tried to pull this scripture to say that a man cannot have more than one woman. This is what he pulled. And it says here in 1 Corinthians 7:1, it says, now concerning the things thereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. And once he got done with this, I asked him, I said, where does it say one in this? You understand? There's no one in this scripture nowhere. He said that wife. It doesn't say wives. You understand? Wife doesn't even mean one. You understand? Own doesn't mean one. Nowhere in the scripture does it mean one wife. This man was a preacher. You understand? This was a Christian preacher trying to tell me that this scripture right here says that a man is only supposed to have one woman. And that is a lie. This is another scripture. Okay? And this is Deuteronomy 17:17. It says, neither shall he multiply wives unto himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. This right here is not saying that you cannot have more than one woman. This is simply talking about if you get more than, you can't get more than you can handle, like in a sense, just to break it down. You understand? Don't get more than you can handle. Don't turn around to where you got all these women and all you thinking about is booty, rocking everywhere, and you forget about the work of the Lord. Right. You understand? That's what it's talking about, because that's why it turned around and breaks down and says that neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. Don't turn around and make money. Don't make gold. Don't put nothing before the Most High and His truth.
That's
You understand?
right.
That's what that means, man. You understand? Not your women, not your money, you understand? Not your business or your car, your job, none of that, man. That's what that means. It does not say that he cannot have more than one woman. Right here, here's another one. In Matthew 19:9, it says, and I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. All right, now right here, now the Christians in the church, they go against this very scripture, okay? They put away their wife and marry another, and it don't even be for fornication. It be because the woman's mouth too big.
Right.
You understand? It be because she ain't cooking no more.
Right.
Because she ain't cleaning no more.
Right.
Because he found another woman and he want to be with her, and then he just put her away.
Right.
You understand? This is another scripture that shows how the Christian church does not follow the New Testament either. Fornication is unlawful sex. When your woman, if she cheats on you, get rid of her. You understand? You can. And I would advise a brother, if a woman cheats, let that woman go.
Right.
You understand? She ain't no good to you. Because if she would turn around and take something so sacred, like what belonged to you was her body, and give it to another man, she'll turn around and she'll keep giving it to her. If you take her back, she'll keep on doing it. And eventually, guess what? The AIDS and the STDs that they was talking about in research, you're going to get it. She's going to catch it, and she's going to give it to you. You understand? So you cannot turn around and put away your wife for no reason except for her cheating on you. You understand? That's the only way you can turn around and get rid of your woman. All right, or divorce, what they call, or break up, or something like that. All right, this is 1 Timothy 3, verse 1 through 2. This is a true saying. And if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. All right, verse 2, it says, a bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, and apt to teach. All right, now, what they don't understand is the word bishop just means overseer. Okay? Paul was an overseer. Christ was an overseer. They didn't have wives. The scripture then says he must be the husband of one wife. That means you must have one woman. So if Paul and Christ was an overseer, that means they had a wife somewhere. Supposed to. You understand? Right. They were supposed to have a wife somewhere. So how could they be an overseer? How could they be a bishop? You understand? If they didn't have no wife. You see what I'm saying? And like I said again, this is the hypocrisy of the Christian church and the what they call it, the misinterpretation of the scripture. They don't know what they're talking about. You understand? The Christian church has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Wow. The Bible again is full of symbolics and metaphors. And this right here is talking about the truth. That ain't talking about no literal woman. That's not talking about your actual wife. That you must have one woman. You understand? Because while preachers in the church sleep with other men's wives, you understand? But then they still allowed to preach. You understand? They hypocrites, man. They don't know what they're talking about. And like I said, the only way that you're going to find out the truth is if you come into the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. Right. This is talking about the truth. It's not even talking about an actual woman. Okay? And again, this is 2 Corinthians 11:2. Okay, it says, for I am jealous over you with a godly jealousy. For I have espoused you to one husband. Now, wait a minute. Now, first a man is supposed to only have one wife. Now you got espoused to a husband. So men was espousing men to other men. You know what I'm saying? You actually I had a fake Israelite try to use this. They didn't know what they was talking about. Of course, you understand? This is not talking about an actual man. You understand? This is referring to the truth. And they don't understand that. Again, the Bible is full of symbolics and metaphors, man. You know what I'm saying? So again, now we're going to how to share your man. You understand? We're going to let these sisters know. First off, you got to know that your man is the head of you, black woman. And this is what the Lord said in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 11:3. It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. This is an order. This is structure for the black family, man. You understand? The Lord turned around and you got God at the top, the Most High. Then you got Christ, and then you got the man, then you got the woman, you got the children. the Most High is definitely in charge. You understand? And then Christ is, the Most High is in charge of Christ, because that's what the word head means in this context. It means who's in charge of who. Okay? And then the man, he is in charge of the woman, and then it goes on down to the kids. All right? And this is one thing that black families are lacking, is this order, this instruction. Because the Christian church teaches the woman that she can do whatever she wants to do. You understand? Nobody can tell her what to do. All right? So now we go to Ecclesiastes 36, 24 to 25. It says, he that giveth a wife beginneth a possession. Okay? A help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So when you turn around, brother, when you sleep with that woman, make her your wife, you own her. You understand? You know how a black woman turn around and, you ever seen anybody in the world that gets married and turns around and gets that ring and the piece of paper and say, I got papers on you. That's what a lot of women be saying. I heard a lot of sisters say that. I got papers on you. Well, guess what? That's the other way around. The man owns you. You understand? The man possesses you. All right? And what does a black man do with his most prized possession? He cares for it. He loves it. He takes care of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does. You his most prized possession. Okay? A help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. That man is supposed to be able to rest when he comes to you. Not have a headache and not want to get away from you. All right? Then it says, where no hedge is, there the possession is for. All right? Now, while black women are claiming to be so single, and they don't need no man, and they don't want no man and all of that, the Lord said in the Bible, where no hedge is, a hedge is a protection. Your man is supposed to protect you. You understand? It says that the possession is spoiled. All right? Look, what is a lot of our single sisters doing according to this research? Getting AIDS. You understand? Having sex with a lot of different men. Right. You understand? In the world, what they call cum dumps. You understand? You got a lot of different men sleeping with our damn sisters, man. Because they spoiled. You understand? They no more good. And then what our sisters don't understand is that when you sleep with all of them different men, man, you turn around and cause yourself a lot of psychological damage. Right. Okay, because black women was not made up to be sleeping with a lot of different men. According to science and according to the Bible, the woman is only supposed to be with one man. That's right. And we just read those scriptures. Okay, and it said, and he that had no wife will wander up and down morning. Black men, we need each other. We need our women. You understand? And sisters, guess what? If your man has more than one, that's okay. Let that man have more than one woman. You turn around and serve him and do what you're supposed to do for him, and everything will be all right. Because guess what? In most cases, black men, when they get a woman, they don't want to leave her. They don't want to lose her. You understand? But like I said, with the sister, she already got it made up in her mind that, it's just supposed to be me. Okay? So sisters will turn around destroying themselves, their men, their body, their children, with all of the nonsense that they turn around thinking, all because they claim to be single. Ephesians 5, 22 through 24. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord. Your man is like the Lord to you, black woman. You understand? If sisters knew that, guess what? They'll be able to turn around and keep brothers instead of turning around and going through so damn many. You know what I'm saying? Your man, you're supposed to obey him. He's like the Lord to you. When it says submit yourself, submit means to willingly give. Black woman, you willingly gave him that vagina, right. Now willingly give that man that reverence. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. It says, well, the husband is the head of the wife. Again, it's telling you, black woman, your man runs you. He's in charge of you. Okay? And it don't mean to be, abusive or nothing like that. You understand? You're supposed to rule over your woman righteously. Okay? And in the I.S.U.P.K, you learn how to rule over a sister righteously. You understand? And then it says, and he is the Savior of the body. Verse 24, therefore, as the church is subject to Christ, what does that mean? The word subject, control. You understand? Christ is in control of all of us, whether you believe it or not. You understand? He is in control. That's what the word, like, you get so many Christians that say, control ain't in the Bible? Yes, it is. Look that word up, subject. That means control. All right? And it says, so let the wives be to their own husbands and everything. This is part of the problem that sisters have when it comes to their marriages. You understand? When it comes to their relationships. They don't know that their man rules over them. They don't know that money that they make, that man rules over that money. They don't know that all that good body, vagina, all that good stuff you working with, it belongs to him. Your car that you got belongs to him.
Right.
You understand? Your house, your apartment, whatever it is that you had before him and all of that is his now.
That's
you
right.
understand? And if you want to keep a man, give it to him.
That's
All right? Give it to him. All right? That's how you keep a man. All right? The 1 Timothy 2:11-12, it says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Sisters do more talking than they do being quiet. That's why they don't know a goddamn thing. You understand? But once they turn around and know this, they'll turn around and be able to keep their man low. They won't be single. Because a lot of sisters are single, not by choice, but because just don't nobody want them. You understand? You're unruly, you're uncontrollable, we can't have a conversation with you, you talk too damn much. The problem, you think you know what you're talking about when you really don't. The sisters are supposed to learn in silence, man, with all subjection. And it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Sisters have a problem with this right here, okay? Is trying not to teach him. They trying to tell the man everything. I done even heard some brothers say, if it wasn't for my woman, I wouldn't be the man I'll be today. And they ain't talking about, they not talking about when they lost their job, their woman helped them out. That's cool. That ain't nothing wrong with that. But they thinking that their woman made them a better man by teaching them how to be a man. Ain't no woman, they can't do it. They can't teach a man how to be a goddamn man. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take men to teach men, you know what I'm saying, how to be a man. And there's no greater place than the ISUPK to learn how to be a goddamn man. You know what I'm saying? But our sisters need to learn that they're not supposed to usurp authority over the man. That means to exercise. The woman, you're not supposed to be exercising your authority over the man. You see what I'm saying? And if sisters knew that, they would be able to keep their men. They would not be going through so many men. You understand? They would be learn how to keep one, and they would definitely learn how to share one. The man, he don't have to ask you, can he have another woman? He ain't got to discuss it with you. He ain't got to see if it's okay. You don't have authority and control over that man.
Right.
That man has control over you. All right? And it ain't no 50 and no 50. It ain't none of that nonsense that the black woman is going by. All right? This is Ecclesiastes 26:6. It says, but a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman jealous over another woman. Why is this in the Bible? Because guess what? That makes the black man sad. You understand? To see his women arguing. You got a brother in the world to where his baby mamas is fighting and arguing and, you know what I'm saying, trying to YouTube each other, beat each other up all over. You know what I'm saying? That right there, that's a grief of heart and a sorrow to a man to see his wives fighting over each other. You understand? You're not supposed to do that. All right? And it says, and a scourge of the tongue which communicated with all. That woman turn around, if she's jealous of that woman, she's going to go off, she's going to talk about it, she's going to cuss you out, she's going to do all kinds of things. She's going to cuss her out. It's all kinds of things that sisters are going to do when it comes to them being jealous over another woman, man. And they not supposed to be like that. In a right spirit, now, we have a lot of people that bring up Jacob and his wives, right? And what sisters don't understand, they don't know the spirit. I'm pulling my journal behind me right now. They don't know the spirit behind the scriptures. You understand? They don't know what a lot of these scriptures mean as far as the spirit is concerned when they just read it from the surface thinking they know what they're talking about. Right here is an incident where these sisters ended up, in a sense, bargaining for their. They wasn't jealous of each other to the point to where they wanted to kill one another, fight one another, things like that. What them sisters turned around and did, they knew that it was not unlawful for a man to have another woman.
That's right.
They were in a full-out competition for their husband's affection. That's totally different from them being jealous of one another. You understand? When the woman is doing her thing for her man, that's what should be your main concern. Is that you doing everything that man wants you to do so that he will be with you and love you and come spend time with you and see you. That should be your main concern. Not fighting his other woman. You understand? Not being jealous over, because that's a grief of heart to the man. All right, but this is Genesis 30:14-16. It says, and Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field. this little flowers, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take my son's mandrakes also? That's just like the sister boy to get smart with you. That's a black woman all day long.
Right.
Okay? So she turned around and Rachel said, Therefore, he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with thy son's mandrakes. And he lay with her at night. That's what them sisters did. They didn't turn around and kill each other. They didn't put Jake out. They didn't bleach his clothes. They didn't change the locks. And they did not go get another goddamn man. You know what I'm saying? They stayed with Jake. They slept with Jake. They had sex with him because guess what? Even though he had 3 other women, they knew that they was his wife too. You understand? And guess what? Them sisters in the sense, they bargained for they the hell with that. I hope you want the mandrakes, give me my man tonight. You understand? That's really what them sisters turned around and did. Okay, like I said, it's a big difference from being jealous of a man's other woman and turning around and being in a competition for his affection. You understand? Wanting his love and things of that nature. When you go back to the scripture, it'll say, if I just have his children, then he would love me. You understand? I'm paraphrasing. That's what them sisters were saying. They weren't saying, if I get rid of her, then guess what? He'll be all mine. That's not what they were saying. You know what I mean? So like, here's another one. This is 1 Timothy 5:14 through 15. It says, I will therefore that the younger women marry. The reason we put this in here, the sisters that we interviewed, the young sisters, they was more concerned with their education and their career and all of that. When in actuality, your career is going to end up at McDonald's or Church's Chicken. You're not going to be successful and this big lawyer and doctor and all of that. It just don't happen. The majority of black women are going to make no more than $13 an hour. You understand? Now you got these sisters that's going around single, sleeping with everybody, but don't want no man when the Lord said his will for young women is to marry and have children. You understand? That's what our sisters should be focused on. It said to bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. All right, and 15 says, for some are already turned aside after Satan. You got the white man that's able to conduct these studies and to turn around and speak reproachfully, saying that, you know what, look at how these sisters act. Look at how they doing. Look at how they treat their man. You understand? The competition, that's what the adversary is, competition, Satan. You understand? They turn around and they give occasion to Satan to speak, you understand, reproachfully against in a lot of things that they are doing. All right? And it says some have already turned aside after him anyway. All right? Now, here's another scripture, Luke 4:11. All right? It says, and all the people that were in the gate, and the elders said, we are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and like Leah, which too did build the house of Israel. Guess what? If it wasn't for them sisters that stayed with their husband Jacob, we wouldn't even be here as a people. Jacob had 4 wives.
Right.
You understand? Think about the things that sisters are doing now. Putting their brothers on child support. You know what I'm saying? Won't let them see the kids. You know what I mean? They stop having sex with them and start having sex with another man. We're destroying our families. But guess what? Them sisters, and it was 2 more. They turned around and these 2, they built the house of Israel, man. The bond gave Leah and Rachel some handmaids. And then them 2 sisters gave their handmaids to their husband Jacob, and he turned around and ended up with 4 wives. You understand? And these 2 sisters, they built the house of Israel, man. They turned around, they was not jealous to the point to where they turned around and put the man out, or you know what I'm saying, or never been with him again, or turned around and destroyed their household by being with somebody else. Proverbs 14:1, it says, every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. A wise woman, same way, the scripture just said that Leah and Rachel, they built the house of Israel. Guess what? Your house is your man. The woman is supposed to, matter of fact, more than one woman, because most black men want more than one woman. And those women are supposed to strengthen that man. You understand? Make him strong. Black men, we actually feel good when we have more than one woman. You understand? It makes a man more responsible because he can turn around and deal with several different women. He can keep it together. Black women, you can't. You can't be single. And look at the responses that single women was giving them white folks, man. That using condoms was safe, and you know, if he cute and if he got a car and all of that. You understand? Our sisters is not supposed to be getting, that's not wise, man. That's a foolish woman, okay? And she's turning around and destroying her man and some of everything and everybody else. All right? 1 Peter 3:5-7. It says, for after this manner in the old time, back in the day, the holy women, also the women that were separate, it wasn't like everybody else, who trusted in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Sisters back in the day turned around and they were under their man's control. And adorn, remember again, this Bible is full of symbolic metaphors. Adorn means to dress. So they dressed themselves, meaning that they wanted you to see that they was under their man's control. They weren't doing like a lot of single sisters out here now talking about they flirt. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is that? You flirting with a man? A lot of sisters have been. You understand? I ran into an incident where a sister was in the store. A Christian woman married to a preacher was flirting with me, trying to get my damn number, talking to me when she claimed she got a husband. Big old, you know, Christian rock ring on her finger and all of that. Marriage means nothing to her. You understand? You ain't supposed to be doing it. You're supposed to be under your own husband's control. You understand? I just simply spoke to the sister. She said hi back. That's all it took. I didn't try to holler at you. But her, you can tell she's not under her husband's subjection. She ain't under his control. She's doing some of everything. You know what? The sister said, I got my man friend outside in the car with me. You understand? So this is a Christian person that claim to love the Lord and Jesus saves and Jesus wept and all that nonsense. That's this type of woman right here. You understand? This is not the type of woman right here. She is not up under her husband's subjection. All right? It says, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughter you are as long as you do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Guess what? Sisters, if you obey your husband, you ain't got to be worried about a lot of things that you heard and things like that you see. You understand? And the next, I believe it's the next scripture that's going to turn around and break that down too. It says, likewise ye husbands, because like I said, when we was promoting this thing, it was to, the lecture was focused on teaching black women how to share their man and teaching black men how to deal with more than one woman. Brothers, you got a responsibility in this thing too. You ain't just supposed to be having sex with the sisters. You can do that. That's fine. But guess what? You got to take care of them. You're responsible for them women. Okay? And it says, dwell with them according to knowledge. The knowledge you got to have is twofold. You got to know your woman and you got to know the scriptures, know how to treat one and to keep one. Okay? And it says, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. All right? So you got to turn around. You know that your woman can't handle certain things. You understand? Like what you doing with your other woman, don't tell her that, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. Okay? The scripture says to keep the doors of thy mouth shut from the woman that lied in your bosom. You ain't got to tell her all your damn business. You know what I'm saying? Don't lie to the sister and tell her she the only one. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Let her know that you got other women, but as far as being descriptive and detail, you don't have to do that. Ecclesiastes 26:24-26. It says, a dishonest woman contemneth shame. That means to bring forth. A dishonest woman brings forth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. Sisters, it's time for you to start reverencing your man. Okay? Sisters don't know that this is what they're supposed to do. They don't know that their responsibilities and duties as a wife. They so busy telling the man what to do to where they missing all of this. You know what I'm saying? And it says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. So we all understand what a female dog is. It says, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. And it says, a woman honoring her husband shall be judged, wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. A lot of sisters wear dishonoring their husband as a badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? As if they have actually done something in life by them dishonoring a man. When the Lord said you counted ungodly by doing these things. You're supposed to reverence your husband. You with the man, you sleeping with him. You know what I'm saying? You're having children with him. Why not turn around and do what he tells you to do? All right? And this is another good scripture right here. This Ecclesiastes 36:23, it says, if there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. Sisters are leaving this part out right here. The kindness, the meekness, and the comforting part. You understand? Because in their mind, they already think that all men are the same. When the Bible says the opposite. If you learn how to treat your man, guess what? That won't even come out your mouth that he just like other men. You know what I'm saying? That all men are dogs. You're going to know that you got a good man because you take care of him the way that the Lord said to. You know what I'm saying? And this is part way of how sisters will learn how to share their man. Is that if you turn around and treat your man the best that you can, you understand that you're supposed to, according to the Lord, if there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in your tongue, then he will turn around and your husband will not be like other men. So like I said, all these different things is how the sister can learn how, and it's a ton more scriptures. But like I said, we way over the time, you know what I mean? And you can go ahead and hit the lights out. You know what I'm saying? This is the I.S.U.P.K. under commanding Gen.YAHANNA since 1969, man. This was the kind of man, okay, which is the truth for single black women. Our sisters can turn around and learn how to keep their man. You know what I'm saying? If they learn how to stop being so damn stingy and learn how to share. You know what I'm saying? I'm Officer the Golden Boy. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Captain Quad, Captain Kapash, Captain DeBar, you understand? And all the other officers that's here, man, and everybody that came out, the sisters, for all of the good food. You understand? We got a lot of it. You understand? So like I said, we're going to go ahead and eat. We got some more food, we got some more drink. And with that, if anybody got any questions or anything, go ahead and ask them now. You know what I mean? If not, we can finish eating and finish drinking. You know what I'm saying? Anybody got any questions about anything? Anybody got any questions? Was it?
When's your next meeting?
Oh, when the next one? Okay, it's going to be Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Give a brother a hand, man. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you coming on out. You know what I'm saying? And this brother as well, man. This brother came on out too. We had a couple of other sisters, you know what I'm saying? They were reading a little early, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out, man. Like I said, if you got any questions, I'm going to give y'all my number here, you know what I'm saying? You have the flyer, you have my contact info, you can call me 24/7, you know what I'm saying? We can answer all questions. And if you need anything, just call me, man. All right, so with that, if we ain't got no questions, any concerns, any comments, anybody want to say anything?
I'll say so. That was a hell of a lecture. That was a hell of a lecture. It was very professional and very oratorical. You did your research and you hit every point, concise, very precise, and it shows the growth. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Definitely something that everybody should be wanting to get. So, of course, I would encourage everybody to promote this on every social media you got. You just gave him the guy. I told Captain Mark, I said if Pimp C was alive, he would inbox you personally and say, nigga, the game is to be sold. I'm telling you, we getting everybody all the knowledge it is to rule the black household, man, and that's what we need. You know what I'm saying?
Back on what the Wild Mouth said, man. Excellent lecture. This brother here is a great brother in the truth. Been a great brother in the truth, man. Traveled miles upon miles, man. Weekends upon weekends to help us build up this whole Midwest. This brother got a lot of great things ahead of him, man. He got his wives here with him, you know what I'm saying? He's a spiritual and man, you know what I mean? So we just look for you, man, to build up this city, man, like we know you had, like we know you can. Great, excellent lecture, man. Great.
I appreciate that. Because that means a lot coming from you brothers, man. Because guess what? Y'all the ones that taught me. You understand? Cap my boy, give him a hand. For me, on the phone with me all day, all night, counsel, answer questions, all of that. You understand? like I said, big ups to everybody in this group, from Commander Gen.YAHANNA all the way on that. You understand? The I.S.U.P.K is the one and only home of the truth. And I don't give a goddamn what nobody say.
That's
You
right.
understand? This the home of the truth, and this is what we're gonna be teaching until Christ returns, man. And with that, Shalom, Israel.
Both sides.